What's up, all my Ewokshibles, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the most recent victim of the cancel culture hate mob, Russell Brand. Now, a few days ago, Russell Brand released a video on his channel where he announced that they were coming after him and that he had been contacted by this news article, and that his lawyers were going to be taking care of it and that it was a very serious allegations, which he 100% refuted. Then shortly after, an article was dropped by the Times. It's behind a paywall, but I did go through and read the entire thing live. Both of those live streams are here on my channel for members or over on my live channel, That Star Wars Girl Live, if you guys want to go and see what I had to say about it, because I did an in-depth reading. I went through and I read the entire thing, and I am very well versed now on all of the allegations against him. Now, I'm going to get into this all in more detail, but I'm going to spoil this for you guys right now. Out of all of the allegations levied against him, not a single one of them accused him of raping them. Not a single one. 3 of these girls were his girlfriends. A lot of people are upset about that one of them was 16 years old. I'm American. In America, well, I know in some states here in America, 16 is legal. In the UK, which is where this took place, 16 years old is the age of consent. He was dating this girl. They were both consenting. In the UK, they were both consenting adults, and they dated for about 3 months. And the reason why she broke up with him is because he wanted to have a threesome, and she showed up at his house, and there was another girl there, and she was upset because she wasn't the only girl in his life and she wasn't the one that changed him. She tells this story about him, like her giving him a blowjob and she couldn't breathe because his dick was too far down her throat. Well, guess what, hun? You went to a man's house. You not only went into his house, you went into his bedroom and were in his bed and were doing sexual things with him. So everything that she complains about, it was just things that happened in their relationship that I'm guessing she now looks back on and regrets. He didn't do anything to her that she didn't willingly do herself, that she didn't willingly get herself involved with. The other girl, she is upset. There's photos going around of these text message. The text message isn't about grape. She's pissed at him because they had sex and he didn't have a condom on. That's another girl that he was also dating. That woman was in her 30s. I believe he was too, if not in his 40s when that one took place. Another girl was upset because she walked into his dressing room. Yes, you hear that right. She went into his dressing room and he wasn't fully clothed and his junk was out and she saw it. And then that's her complaint, was that she went into his private room, his private dressing room, saw his genitals, and then dated him for a few months after that, or went on a few dates with him and slept with him. Wow. And then another girl was one that he worked with, one that he flirted with, and then for some reason, she was in his bedroom. They were filming, they were doing something at his house. For some reason, she ended up in his bedroom, and she claims he was trying to kiss her and got on top of her on the bed and was holding her hands, and she talks about his eyes, and it's like, yes, he was high. And she says what she claims, that she was crying and screaming, "I love you, why are you doing this to me?" See, that doesn't make any sense. But none of those are allegations of grape. Not a single one of these women accused him of graping them. I want to make that crystal clear, because that is all you're going to see on social media, is that he is a grapist. He graped women, when not a single one of these women accused him of grape. Now, I verbalized my thoughts and feelings in a tweet, and since then, this tweet has gone viral with over 4.4 million views in a matter of days since I tweeted it. And a lot of people are furious at me because of what I said, which I'll read for you now. So decades ago, a bunch of chicks willingly fooled around with a celebrity because he was a celebrity and they wanted their chance at fame. Now, decades later, they're playing the victims for another chance at fame while simultaneously being used as pawns by his enemies who are trying desperately to destroy him. This isn't a mystery, folks. Open your eyes. I don't care if you like Russell Brand or not, it's very obvious what's going on. I swear common sense is dead. And I mean that quite literally, because after reading that article, I don't know how anyone can see it differently. This is another tweet that I posted the morning that I filmed this video, and these are just two snippets from the article that really tell you all you need to know about it. Now I'll read this for you. Over the past few years, reporters have interviewed hundreds of sources who knew or worked with Brand, ex-girlfriends and their friends and family, comedians and other celebrities, people who worked with him on the radio and TV, and senior staff at BBC, Channel 4, and other media organizations. So in other words, ever since he has been going viral online for speaking out against the mainstream narrative, ever since then, the past few years, they have been stalking and harassing everyone and anyone that has worked with him or come into contact with him to get some kind of dirt on him. Now, take in mind, out of the hundreds of people that they stalked and harassed, only 4 of them had some minor complaints. And like I said, I have read this entire article. I read it to everyone in my audience that showed up for the live streams. They are minor inconveniences. It's not the way that they're painting it out to be. I know, I read it. So this is what they said. Now, this is, I think, one of the most incriminating things, not for Russell Brand, for the people that put together this hit piece. All said they felt ready to speak only after being approached by reporters. Several said they felt compelled to do so given Brand's newfound prominence as an online wellness influencer with millions of followers on YouTube and other sites. Dun 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 dun. Now, like I said earlier, the article is behind a paywall. It is available on archive sites for free if you know the right places to look. I was lucky enough to get a Word document of it sent to me. Thank you to Legal Vices for that. And I have things highlighted, so I'm going to be going directly from the Word document. Now, this stuff that I'm going to be reading to you guys is the way that it was written. I haven't made any kind of edits to it at all. All of the highlighted sections were sent to me in advance. Now, out of the 4 women, I want you guys to take in mind, out of the 4 women that have some kind of grievance against him, 3 of them were women that he dated and was dating for a few months, if not longer. So take that in mind. Now I'm going to read through each one, and then I will explain to you guys what happened in each case from my own point of view and my opinion on it based on what was written in this article. So let's begin. Woman 1 alleges that Brand rapped her against a wall in his Los Angeles home. She was treated at a rape crisis center on the same day. According to medical records, text messages show that in the hours after leaving his house, she told Brand that she had been scared by him and felt taken advantage of, adding, "When a girl says no, it means no." Brand replied saying he was very sorry. Now, I'm going to address these in the order that they were presented, in that absolutely terrible bullet point, which is completely misrepresentative of what they later get to in the article of what actually happened. Now, they like to bring up the evidence that she was treated at a rape center. Here is the website, the direct website for the rape center in Santa Monica. Now, I live in California. I live in Southern California, where Santa Monica is. When I saw that, they're like, "Oh, she went to a rape center. She went to a rape center." My initial thought is, yeah, she went to a rape center because this rape center at UCLA is free. It is 100% free of charge. If you guys want to go, if you don't believe me, scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page where it walks through everything that happens. Oh, what is this? It says donate today. Your support will help us provide comprehensive care for sexual assault victims free of charge. That's the key of it. She was too cheap to go to a doctor. You want to know why? Now, take in mind, this is, let me zoom in for you guys so you guys can see this. Right now, obviously, it's 2023. It's a little bit different now than it was back then. So instead of going to her physician, this woman, take in mind, is in her 30s. Instead of going to her doctor, because right here it says, how much does a primary care visit cost in California? It costs about $168 now. So instead of dropping $160, almost $170, instead of doing that, she went to a college so that way she can get free treatment, because she's cheap and she just wants to get the free testing. Now, as far as the text message goes, everyone has been ripping this text, like this screenshot of the text, to shreds because of the terrible Photoshop. All of this in here, even, I want to know what it actually said aside from the Photoshop. So Brand is the white, she is the blue. You can see right here where it's pasted over. This is one of the worst Photoshop jobs I've ever seen, but nothing she says here has anything to do with graping. She's pissed because he wasn't wearing a condom and she's worried about getting a disease or an infection of some kind. It's that simple. They were both two consenting adults. The only thing that she had the problem with was the lack of a condom. Now, that was chick number one. Now, girl number two is the 16-year-old. Now, you don't have to agree with the fact that he was 30 years old dating a 16-year-old. I'm American. That's icky to me. In the UK, that's legal. 16 is the age of consent. You and I don't have to agree with it. Legally, that's okay there. Is it questionable? Abso-freaking-lutely. Is it weird? Yes. Do I think that it's like gross? 100%. I'm not Russell Brand's mother, nor am I this girl's mother. This is something that happened 18 years ago. So take that in mind. He was a consenting adult. Obviously, he's a dude. It's a hot chick. Whatever. She is a 16-year-old girl that got hit on by a celebrity. Did she have to date him? No. Did she know how old he was? 100%. Her parents in this article claim to be against it, but they don't do anything that a typical parent would pull. Yes, she's 16, the age of consent in the UK, but the parents say, well, we felt like we couldn't do anything. It's like, what? Have you never heard of grounding? You are the ones that I'm assuming are paying for the house. She lives in your house. It's your rules. You can take away her phone. You cannot let her leave the house. Pull the, you live under my house, young lady, it's my rules, or get out and pay your own rent and pay for your own phone bill and ground her. It's really not that difficult of a thing to do. I don't know what the heck's up with her parents. She claims that her dad is in the picture too, because she refers to parents, but her dad didn't do anything. Her mom didn't do anything. So they obviously weren't that against it. I think now maybe retroactively they're looking back with the hindsight being 2020, and I think that that's what's happening based on the fact that they didn't do anything aside from the mom saying, make sure he knows how old you are. And the mom even drove her to his house to make him realize, oh, look at how young my daughter is, which that doesn't make any sense, because any girl, as long as her parents are still alive, any girl that at one point is going to introduce them to their parents are going to have a mom and a dad there to introduce to the guy that their daughter is dating, that he's dating, he's meeting the parents. That's not an abnormal thing to do. So even their explanations don't even make sense. So the things that Russell Brand did that were questionable in their relationship was, at one point, they were doing the deed and he spit in her mouth. All right, I get it. That's kinks that are good for some people and not good for others. All she had to do was say she didn't like it. The second thing that he did that she didn't like, or that she now 18 years later has a problem with, is he went out for an hour and he told her to stay in the bath because it turned him on, knowing that he was out and about and she was in the bath. That's not rap. That's not graping. That's one of his kinks. All right, she doesn't like it. She's a rebellious teenager. For anyone that's going to argue, Anna, she's 16. She doesn't know any better. Don't give me that bullshit. I was 16 too. I was a 16-year-old girl too. Everybody knows that teenagers are some of the most rebellious human beings on the planet. You cannot get a teenager to do something if they don't want to do it. If she didn't want to sit in the bath for an hour while he was out, she doesn't have to. We don't even know if she actually did it. She could have gotten in before he left and gotten out and gotten right back in by the time he got back. You don't think that water didn't get cold? You don't think she didn't drain it and then get right back in as she went and snooped around his house? Give me a freaking break. And then the third thing that he did that was so outrageous was that, now there's no context before the hand, so at some point, because she says that she was doing third base with him, his junk was in her mouth and she couldn't breathe and she had to punch him in the stomach to get him off her. And I'm like, I don't believe that, because hun, all you gotta do is chomp. The second a guy feels teeth, he's gonna pull out and probably shoot across the room. Guys don't like that. All you gotta do is chomp. And if anyone's like, Anna, no, if you're gagging, you can't chop. Again, you don't think I haven't been here before? You don't think I've ever been in that situation where, it's in too deep and something's happening? I'm telling you from first-hand experience, all you got to do is... And guys, none of the things I've named off was the reason she broke up with him. The reason she broke up with him was because he wanted to have a threesome and she came over and he had another girl there to do the threesome, and that's why she broke up with him. Not because of the spitting in the mouth, not because the bathtub thing, not the choking on his junk. No, it was the fact that she was not the only girl in his life and she wasn't the one that was the special one that was going to be the one to change him. Smallest violin in the world. Now, chick number 3 is the funniest one in my opinion. You guys can see it right here. So they were working together when he was in the UK. So he was in his dressing room changing. She walked in on him changing and his junk was out, and he's a comedian. He made light of the situation by making a joke asking her if she was there to give him a blowjob. Now, if it was the other way around and a man walked in on a woman changing, sure as hell, especially in today's climate, that guy would be fired and out of there and she'd be crying the victim. No, instead of making her feel bad, Russell Brand made a joke to lighten the mood of the situation, and then they ended up dating and fucking. Wow, that doesn't sound like grape, does it? No, it doesn't, because it's not. All right, now this is chick number 4. This is a girl that he met when he was in LA at Alcoholics Anonymous. You can see highlighted up on the screen. They met at Alcoholics Anonymous and they started having sex. So this is a woman that he has had an active sexual relationship, a consensual sexual relationship. Then they ended up working together. You're going to see another highlighted section. Now, for some reason, they're doing something at his house. For some reason, again, she ended up in his bedroom alone with him, and probably like their past sexual encounters, he thought that they were going to do it again. He did the things that they usually did. And now all of the sudden, when I think she knew that there was going to be an audience present, she started crying and screaming and saying, she says, you guys can see it here. She was screaming, "I love you, please stop." Does that make any sense? No, not really. She talks again about his eyes being glazed over. I don't know, are these people retarded in some way? He's stoned. He is stoned. When his pupil are dilated, that means he is high. So he's obviously high. She's in his bedroom, in his house. I said this on my live streams. It's not like they were walking down the street and he pulled them into an alley and he forced himself on them. These women willingly dated this guy, had sex with this guy consensually, and then one time it was off and now they're claiming grape. There is not a single, and even in this situation, he doesn't even do it. He stops when she tells him to stop, and they don't do it. Doesn't make any sense. There's not a single thing in this article that's grape. There isn't. Not at all. So guys, that's it. That's the big story here. They spent years, ever since he started speaking out against the mainstream media, they have spent years stalking and hunting down every girl, every person that he's ever dated or interacted with or worked with to try to find some dirt on him. And that's the best they could come up with. That 4 women he was in consensual sexual relationships with had a few bad experiences 18, 20 years ago. You got to be freaking kidding me. And this is a guy that has admitted to being an alcoholic, to being a drug addict, to being extremely promiscuous and having, a sex addiction. And he's a comedian that has laughed about that. So all of these things that they're trying to be as a gotcha, it's stuff that he's already said, yeah, he did drugs. Yeah, he drank a lot. Yeah, he had sex with a bunch of different women. That's not an own. That's not a gotcha. He didn't rape anyone. Everything that happened was consensual, and these women that hadn't thought about it in 18 years, when they were approached by reporters, all of the sudden remembered that one bad time, that one bad experience, I didn't like when he did that to me. If you ask any single person on the face of the planet, I'm sure that they can say that has had sex. They can say, oh yeah, I remember that one time it just, we just didn't mesh well. There was something that was off, or has had a bad experience with a sexual partner. That doesn't equal grape. That doesn't equal assault. And if you flip the roles of reverse, do you think any man would be complaining about this if a woman that they had actively been having sex with all of a sudden was oh, you're in my room, and the girl tried to put the moves on them and they were no, they're not gonna go cry about it. All of these people that are women are exactly equal to men. Not in this. Nope. Same thing about the guy. If it was a woman, a man that walked in on a woman changing, they'd be screaming to high heavens. Russell Brand made a joke about this. This is a absolute nothing burger, and it's bullshit. All of that, it was a waste of my time. It's a waste of everyone's time, because all it is the media trying to dig up dirt because they want to cancel Russell Brand, because everything that he does now is contradicting their narrative, and they can't stand that because he's a celebrity, he has a huge following, and he calls them out on their bullshit, and they can't stand that. Somebody like me, I'm just a nobody YouTuber that talks about Star Wars and social issues sometimes. I'm nobody. Russell Brand is Russell Brand. People listen to Russell Brand. Some people listen to me, all you cool people that have watched my channel and subscribed. You guys are all cool and you guys listen to me, but I'm no threat to the media. I'm a nobody. Russell Brand is someone. That's why they're targeting him like this. That's why they spent years stalking every chick that he ever dated and every person that he ever worked with to dig up dirt on them. And all they could find is these 4 chicks that he dated almost 20 years ago. Give me a freaking break. This is bullshit. But anyways, guys, I've talked a lot at this point. Let me know what you guys all think about this down below in the comments. If you guys like this video and all the research that I put into it, I feel like I did more. I didn't stalk anyone. All I did was literally read the hit piece and do research on the things that they claimed, and just showed you guys literally all of it. I showed you guys all the evidence and exploited how they lied and misrepresented literally everything. If you guys like that, smash the like button. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching this far through. Till next time, everyone, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for supporting my channel and watching my content. If you guys want to support me further, go over to Indiegogo and check out my latest campaign. This is a cosplay calendar. I've been doing cosplay calendars for the past few years, ever since Disney YouTube. I think it hurt Disney's feelings. But ever since YouTube hardcore shadow banned me, I've had to figure out different ways to branch out to grow my audience. And one of the things that I was always into growing up was dressing up in costumes because I'm a Halloween baby. So I was like, hey, I'll start doing calendars. Well, you guys in the audience told me to start doing calendars. But if you guys are interested in backing and having one of these in your hands, yes, you can actually get a calendar and you guys can have it in your hands, put it up on your wall, put it on your desk, go and check it out. I got calendars, I got books, I got posters. If you guys are interested in any of that, go over to my campaign and back it. It is linked down below in the description. I truly appreciate all of your guys' support. You guys are awesome. Again, this is linked down below in the description of this video. Go and check it out if you haven't already. And guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.